Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us
Brad
tonight.
Dizzle. There he
I
is.
love that.
What's up, baby boy?
What's going on?
Chilling.
So your directorial debut is about to begin.
Yes,
How
sir.
does it feel?
Great.
Louisiana Caviar.
Great, absolutely great, and I thank you all for the support. You know,
It's our pleasure.
it's one of those things where you come to the end of your journey. Someone said to me, "You don't finish a film, you surrender it," and you really do. You stop working on it because every time you see it after you finish, there's something else you want to tinker with. But that being said, this was truly a labor of love. I've heard other directors say that before, but to know that we shot this thing in 120-degree heat in New Orleans and other parts of Louisiana with a crew that was as passionate about the film as I was and the other actors were, I think you could feel the love come off the screen and the passion, and I'm just excited to be here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I did some prep work,
Yeah.
and I read a Vulture article you did in 2016, where you talk about how it's the director's vision that really sets the stage for the film.
Absolutely.
So how does it feel sort of being in that seat and having that control on the movie? And how has that really influenced your relationships with the other actors in the film? That, you know, you started out as an actor in the film, so it must have really changed the sort of stage for you.
It's one of those things where, as an actor, it's almost like, I don't know, have you ever ridden a horse? Ever been horseback riding?
Not for a long time.
I shouldn't have set you up that way, but I used to do rodeo stuff and team penning, cutting horse. When you get on the back of a horse, just the way you sit and you control him or her, they know if you know what you're doing. And the minute they lose trust and they pull the reins or they do anything like that, you're screwed. They can run off on you, they'll stop, they'll do little things that just not make you look good. But when you show them control, they just acquiesce and they kind of succumb to your will. That's what a good actor wants from his director. I want you to know what you want. You know the shot, you have the vision in your head of why you're telling me to say these things and do these things and why the light is there and why the extras are moving by. If I ask you a question, you go, oh yeah, I didn't think of that, then I lose a little respect for you. So that being said, having written this script, because I came on when the script was in one place.
Wrote that.
Yeah, and then they let me, Eitan gave us our original screenplay and I love him for it. But I always had issues with certain things and continuing plot lines and whatnot. So I said, I'll direct it if you let me rewrite it. So after I completed that process, I knew this world. You know, and every scene that you see in the movie, I know what happened before in the past and I know what happens in the future. So when a question comes up or an issue comes up, or an actor says, I don't understand this, I know the backstory of that dialogue so I can tell them why and then we can come up with a solution. And I think at the end of the day, and it was a long-winded answer, but the end of the day is I see the whole movie in my head from opening credits to end credits. And anything, like I used to say this thing to all my department heads, the script is a 7. If you bring me a 6, we'll go with the script, but if you bring me an 8 or a 9, it's in the movie. You know, so I think that way you show them that you're confident about what you're doing, but you invite them to be collaborative and to challenge you. You know, because I think through challenges when you get really great magical things.
That's awesome. So I guess it's your first directorial debut, so you must have, you know, what are your hopes for the movie?
To direct again. You know, for people to see the story that we as a creative team told, and to want to see more stories. I was on Broadway in 2013, and a lot of times backstage you're just kind of sitting and it gets monotonous. So I wrote my first screenplay there, then I wrote another screenplay, and then this situation presented itself. So I do have other stories to tell, and you know, I'm a Stanley Kramer fan. I'm a, you know, these guys, the forefathers of cinema, they tell socially conscious stories, and the themes in our movie are socially conscious. And it's funny, even though I wrote the script almost a year ago today, when you see it, a lot of themes that we tackle with the subject matter are very relevant with the social issues that were going on today. So it'll be interesting, specifically with the Me Too movement and whatnot. So
I'm excited that I can see the movie now.
Yeah, now it really is interesting that that we just hit some of this stuff on the head, and we did it just out of the situation that it presented itself based on the subject matter.
That's awesome. So I have to get like the watch plug-in. So
yes, of course.
We're a platform for pre-owned watches. We're probably the largest that there is, worldwide. And one of our biggest beliefs is that time is now our most valuable asset. That time is a luxury for everybody.
I say that all the time. I say when you pass away, the only thing you take with you are your memories. That's it. And if you think, I almost wrote a script about this, the concept of time. I think they did a movie where Bruce Willis and one of the Ryans and it was an action thing, and they had little things that they put, and it was like you can gain more time and live longer or something like that. But it is about preserving your memories. And I'll never forget, the first fancy watch I ever got was a Patek Philippe.
Oh, beautiful.
And it was sleek, and I wore it in my tuxedo when I won the Oscar. It was my birthday, and my wife bought it for me. And she knew that I had just read up on the history of watches and how this originated from the origins, and how Patek Philippe had a real hand in that. And so it is still one of my favorite pieces that I own, and I own like 3 or 4 now, but that one specific one, I thought I had lost it because we had moved, and I literally last year opened a box and there it was.
Oh, it's the best feeling.
It was great. Yeah.
It's truly like something that you can pass down.
Oh, absolutely.
One generation
absolutely.
To the next. But so we value time almost as a commodity now, and we our customers more and more saving them time is sort of why they choose us.
Right.
As a director, as an actor, how does, managing time, influence the film, and how does that differentiate between being an actor and then being a director?
Well, it's tricky. I mean, it is the game to complete your schedule for the day. I can't tell you how many times the first AD would come into my trailer and go, okay, here's our shot list. What can we lose? And I would have to cut scenes out and then shoot what we could to fit the day. And we always made the day. When you hear the stories of how we made this movie, it was like ridiculous. But we made the movie, and funny enough, when I got in the editing room, I didn't have a lot of choices. So the movie literally cut itself together, thank God, in the editing room. But I believe it's because if I didn't have the vision on the set and the trailer that day to be able to cut those scenes. But yeah, it's all time management, everything.
I think I read that it took you, it was only 3 weeks that you had?
To shoot the movie?
Yeah.
12 days.
Crazy. That's amazing. It's amazing that it's such a great accomplishment.
Thank you.
So, obviously you're.
I hope you like it. You're like, oh, yeah, it looked like 12 days, dude.
No, I'm excited that I get to see it now. We were supposed to do the interview while it was showing, and I said my biggest disappointment was that I wasn't going to get to see it.
Yeah, well, you'll see it. You'll see it. You're going to stay and watch it, right?
Yeah, we're going to.
Okay,
stay for the movie.
Okay.
But so I guess you're super busy, actor, director. What are your other hobbies? Outside of this, family, friends, do you collect anything?
I'm a physical guy. I play ice hockey and boxing and stuff, but now I'm doing the musical in London, so I've been doing vocal lessons and choreography every day. Like, it's overtaken my life the last 3 months, so. And I leave Thursday for London for the duration of the year, so here we go.
That's amazing. That's a very cool. It must be such a different process than what you're coming from to going into.
Yeah, it is. But it's interesting, that stage, that actor discovery every day. You're saying the same material, but now you're delving deeper and deeper into the characters and the relationships of the characters. And so it enhances everything you do as an artist afterwards. Everything. And I think it made me a better director. If I am good. I might be shit. You don't know. Oh, can you say shit?
I think you're going to be good. You can say shit. Watch people say shit. Yeah, what would Rod Tidwell have to say about Cuba Gooding, the director?
He'd have a pocket watch with a chain on it. Is that what watch would he wear? Yeah, he'd have a chain on it. He'd be like, what time is it?